everyone, Gogan coming at you with an extended video of that Spider-Man clip from my other quick tutorial on how we can get like natural squash and stretch with our characters, right? Spider-Man is a perfect example. He's nice and slender. We can really push that squash, right? And that stretch, I should say. Mostly, more so the stretch. Anyway, he's got really fun limbs and everything, right? So I went ahead and built out this first pose here, okay? So we're gonna walk through the process of animating this, him coming down, hitting the pole, and kind of just like sitting there looking around, right? Before we get started, guys, please go ahead, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button right down here at the bottom, okay? So that I know that you guys like these. Please leave comments, anything that you want to see or anything that you really liked about the video, so I know that like what I can add in my like future videos and how we can like grow together and this channel can grow, and I can make sure that I'm giving you guys what you need to help you the most. So right now, so I built out this pose. We have a Spider-Man here, right? We can look up reference. You know, there's some really classic Spider-Man poses, and this is one of them, right? I kind of just put him on the pole, and I made sure that I went on this last pose though. I wanted to really make sure that you felt the squish out as when he was coming down. Okay, when he comes down in and lands, I really wanted to be able to push that squash, right? Natural squash, okay, where he comes in and then boom. And his knees and his arm really give you that like squash out, right? It feels really natural. So obviously, this is my first pose, okay? And one of the things to be aware of is we will be like doing some IKFK switching in here, and that's really nice. We learned that another time where we like did the IKFK switch within the movement, right? And this is a perfect example of how we're going to handle that, okay? So we have our first pose here. So now what we're gonna do is like when I animate, I try and like build out the first like pose that like the storytelling pose, the very first storytelling pose, and then I kind of move it down the timeline wherever I need it, or I'll move it a few keys over and then I'll block in the rest. But this is obviously a storytelling pose, right? He's sitting there perching and looking out over the city. Okay, so that's our first pose, and I'm just gonna go ahead and move it wherever. You can move a couple, one down or a couple. I know that when I go to animate this, I'm gonna have like the stretched out pose, but I don't know exactly where I want this. So for right now, we're just gonna pull it over. Okay. So now let's build out our stretch pose. Okay. I know that we're gonna want the arm in FK, and so we're gonna go ahead and do that and just put that in IK right there. Sorry, FK. I always do that. Oh my goodness, every freaking time. It gets me every time. Okay, so now we're gonna have Spider-Man here go like this. I had to really push his controls, right, to get that really like downward spider look. And so now I just got to go back and I just got to like zero things out, and just zero the rotations out on this, you know, and don't worry about the translation, right? If you worry about the translation too much, you're gonna pop him back down to zero wherever that is at this moment, and we don't want to do that. Okay, went ahead and bent all of his spines here. Gonna go ahead and do that. Gonna try and make sure that I kind of like explain my process throughout this whole video and not have too many like areas where I'm not really talking, so that you can really get a feel for like my thought process, right? And I'll try and do that more and more as I go. My other tutorials, I kind of have these moments where I'm kind of animating and I don't really talk, where I'm just kind of going, right? But I'll try and talk my way through all these and all my tutorials from here on out. Okay, so I'm going to build out these arm poses here, okay? Right here. Something that I think that a lot of people miss out or don't really focus a ton on when they should is the shoulders, okay? They get ignored a lot, and the only time they really get looked at, and even sometimes they don't get looked at enough, is like when the arms are really far up like this, and the only reason that people push them far up like this is because they can't get the shape, and they realize, oh, I need to push the shoulder up. You need to make sure that you're really, really paying attention to your shoulders, okay? Otherwise, it's just they're gonna look not very great, right? And like shoulders are such a big deal; they're the root of your entire arm. So you really want to make sure that you get the shoulders working with you. Let's go ahead and save our animation. Squash straight tut. Okay, and then go ahead and deselect our thumb, all the other finger controls here. Just try and get a fist. Okay, and I'm trying to get a fist here just because I'm going to start out in a fist because that, like, just to get a pose change, right? I want a pose change in the middle of the animation when he's falling in. So I want to, and the reason I want a pose change is because it like shakes things up, okay? And it kind of like, it gives us a little bit, press play by accident. It gives us a little bit of a like a different feel for the pose change, okay? And it's not all the same the whole time. And anytime you can get like different pose changes, the better, okay? Make sure that we really bend the finger down here. Let's see, okay. It's okay to get these hands kind of squishing together, okay? The hands are flexible. They're more flexible than you would think. So like squish them together, okay? Don't be afraid of squishing them. And don't break the hand when you're squishing it together, but make sure that you like get a good strong hand pose, okay? Like this. We could build that out on the other side, but I usually I usually try and focus on just doing it without tools. But since we're going to build pretty much the same hand pose on the other side, I'm just going to go ahead and use Animate and mirror the pose on the other side. Okay. And it's the exact same pose. Stuff like this. Okay. He's going to look down at what he's doing. Okay, so on this, on the feet here, let's go ahead and zero these feet out, right? And maybe we can actually get save these poses like down the line here, so that I don't have to rebuild them later on, so it can be a little quicker. Because I already have the poses, like the curled on the flagpole poses, right? And I want to keep that I've already created. Okay, and we are in spline mode, so let's go ahead and switch over to clamped. Stepped. Okay. What I'm doing here, guys, is I'm just changing all my panels so that I can have the graph editor and I can have my camera 1 right here, and then my perspective, and so I can really see what's going on in my camera. Okay, and I've locked this camera down so I can't move it. Okay, you just go ahead and select the camera, select all these, right click, and then go to, let's see, lock selected, and it locks your camera. So you can't move that, so you don't accidentally animate it if you're in that view. Okay, so we've got Spider-Man coming down here. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this out. Oops. Rotate this out here because his foot looks weird. All right, so classic superhero feet, right? Like this. We want to get as much stretch as we can with this without completely breaking everything, right? The nice thing is our camera angle right here. This is kind of a broken ankle here. The nice thing is like, and they do this all the time in like comics and stuff, is like they point the foot down. Okay, maybe we want to point it up just a little bit more, but we want to get that nice pose in there, so we can go ahead and like from this camera angle, we're good, and it doesn't look too broken from here. And he is a Spider-Man after all, right? So let's see. Okay, the knee is pointing out just a little bit too much. Want to make sure we get that nice natural stretch, and we can like go ahead and pull this up. Let's fix this here. His feet are looking a little bit weird. I don't like that pose that it has on the feet, so I'm going to go ahead and fix it. Okay. And again, we're just building out our first pose. Okay. All right. Now, obviously, he's not going to appear in, like, he's not going to already be in that like area, right, in the camera. So we want to go ahead and pull him up for our first frame. Grab everything, pull him up there. Make sure that he is lined up correctly with the flagpole when he comes down. Let's go ahead and see how that's working for us. Okay, we're making sure that we're zoomed out here and making sure that he's coming down and he's hitting that flagpole right now. That's a nice path of action, right? He's doing that. Okay, so I know that I'm going to need a breakdown pose here, right, of him coming down and hitting the flagpole. Okay, because I am in FK on my arms, I just need to grab the main body control and the feet controls and then pull him down. Whoop, forgot one. And then pull him down. Okay. Just like this. Pull him down the flagpole. This pose is going to remain fairly the same throughout like this entire part, so we don't need to worry about like doing another pose in between these two, right? Because he's flying in. He's going to be like 2 frames when he's flying in. And then he's going to land. Boom. And honestly, like, that's all of our poses, right? Like, we're done. Boom. All the other stuff, just the way I animate, like, I feel it more, right, in my other tutorials, and so he's going to land, and then I'm going to build in that, like, compression and that body bounce, okay? I'm going to build that in there and not worry about that right now. Just storytelling pose and then really get the timing nailed down, right? Move on. Don't get stuck, like, trying to block everything in, like, super meticulously, okay? It's going to take you a lot of time. Unless you were like animating that way. Some animators animate that way, and that's great, right? Not quite as pose to pose as my workflow. Okay, comes down, boom, lands, squashes. Really nice stretch here, boom, squashes. Okay, that's honestly all of our poses. So let's go ahead and grab all the IK, the FK. So I grab all the FK at one time when I'm doing my IK FK switching. I grab all the FK because first, and then I go back and I select all my IK. And the reason I do this is because there's more FK controls than there are IK controls. Okay, so like FK, there's like 3 controls that I have to select, but in IK there is only 2: the elbow and the IK. Okay, and so that's what I'm gonna do. This has already got some timing on it, so I'll just go ahead and leave that there. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a key on every single control, right? Just like all the other tutorials that we watch, okay? Make sure there's a key on every single control. So we're going to go ahead and step the less than sign and, you know, skip to the next, very next keyframe, less than sign S, until we have all of our poses built in. Okay, it comes in, boom, right there. So now, here's the thing. I know, right, that he's going to do a body bounce. And I know that I'm going to add those keys in anyway later on, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of add a key here, just a blank key, not going to change the pose at all. I know that he's going to have, like, he's going to land and then he's going to do, like, an overlapping body bounce, okay? And so I'm going to build those poses in. I'm not gonna change the poses at all. I'm just gonna press S and leave a blank pose so that on my graph editor it comes down and there's a locked down pose for a couple of like keys, right? And like I'm kind of like telling the future. I know that that's going to happen and that's okay to do. Like that's better to do because down the line you're gonna end up doing it anyway. So you're saving your time right now. And like it's better at the end if this is your final pose and you have a final pose hitting right here. Right? It doesn't matter what animation it is. If you have final pose hitting at the end of your animation, it's better to lock down the graph on what it is because then you can like manipulate the graph and you can overshoot and everything and just like go instead of having to like worry about going and like setting a key later. Okay, we're just doing that now to save time. Okay, so let's go ahead and now that we've timed, I've kind of timed this out, but I already had it timed out a bit. So let's go ahead and time this first part out. Really going to be like maybe 2 or 3 frames in here when he's coming and jumping in and landing, right? Boom. Let's see how that's working with our, let's press play in this camera view, right? Perfect, right? We've got him jumping in and hitting, okay? Let's give ourselves a little bit of padding here at the beginning, maybe like 3 frames of padding at the beginning, just so like the viewer has time to like see, like, you know, the screen, and then Spider-Man comes in. And even we can even like have his foot come in on this first and see how that feels. Okay, or on this next frame, we can have his foot come in right here and add that to our blocking. Okay, where we can have the foot just in camera right here, right? Whoop, wrong control. Right there. There we go. So he comes and he is going to squash down onto the flagpole. Okay. Now we can go ahead and take all our keys and hit that destroy button. Okay. Not too bad actually. We're there almost, right? We just need to add the overlap and add the extra polish and we're golden. Okay. So first thing I want to do though is like if this timing is feeling good for me, I'm gonna go ahead and just like I like this timing where it's at right now. Okay. Obviously this right here, ooh, that looks terrible. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fix that. Okay. And we're gonna fix that by going in and fixing the IKFK switch. Okay. So on Spidey here, the IKFK switch is on the arm. We're only going to do one arm, okay? Because the only arm that we want to land and stick is this arm. So that's all we're going to do, okay? So let's go ahead and switch it right here. Do a switcheroo here because his arms start to come down right here, right? And it's a bit awkward. His arms are a bit awkward right here. Coming down, obviously that's not what we want, right? We want him to come down and lead into that. Okay, nicely lead into that squash. So boom, right here. Let's go ahead and flip it on. Ah! Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to switch it. I changed my mind. I'm going to switch it right here. So I'm going to keep the IK right here because we're going to. Let's see. Yeah, we can go ahead and leave it on. Right here. Okay, it's going to come down. His hands are going to come down. They're going to get down here like this. Right? When I animate, really just like kind of see, like I just kind of feel my way through the animation. Right? And like that's nothing new. I've in my other tutorials I've kind of explained this, and I don't really like to be locked down by keys, right? Okay, let's make sure that we have clamped and stepped. Like this. Okay, and so by this time he's going to have rotated his hand down like this and out. And I very well may change my mind on if I want IK to be right here. And the reason is because I have a little bit more control. There, okay, we're good. So his hands and arms are leading into that squash, right? We're not losing anything, and it's coming into the body. And it might be just a little bit, like the model might be just a little bit broken here. So we can go like this and pull his elbows out, and maybe rotate this way like this. Okay, so it's not as crazy broken. Then we got to fix this here. Have that leading down like that. Into this. Okay. I can kind of do that right with my arm. I try to make it as natural as possible when I'm doing my poses. Like if the body can do that, if you can do it, like if I can do it, then my model can do it, right? If I can't do it, then I should try harder not to make it so try hard not to like do what the body can't do, right? Because if I can do it, my model can do it, and it can be done in my animations. But that's the cool polish part. We can do whatever we want because we're animating, right? And it's not real. Okay. Let's see. Looks like this didn't get any treatment on the destroy button, so let's go ahead and destroy that. Okay, so this is great, right? Make sure that okay, so when we're going here, we're going to have the arm. We want to create a nice little arc for the arm to swoop in, right? To come in like this. So it comes in and then goes out. Leads into that like squash, right? And so he's coming in and we're going to bend it like this. Woo! Got a little bit of squirreliness in there. Let's go ahead and rotate the arm down like this. Rotate it in. Okay. And he's going to lead into that. And because it's bothering me, sticks, I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and add the like bounce, okay? Because it's driving me absolutely nuts. Not too far. Don't want to go too far, obviously. Right? And we can pull this up even if we want to. Feeling a little slow coming back up on the bounce. Okay, so let's pull this over here. In fact, we can just pull this entire thing over here. Okay, just like that. Now he's got some like body rebound, right? Or whatever you want to call it. Body bounce, which is what we want. Okay, and we can even probably pull this all the way over here like this to ease into it a little bit better. Just like this. Pull this up. Ooh, a little too far. Maybe just a bit too far still, so let's pull it down. Want him to bounce, go up, and then back down just a little bit, and then we can add a keyframe here at the back end so he can like ease back down into that final pose. Like that, right? And then obviously, like when he's going like this, we want to get some like rotation where he's like overlapping downward, right? And so we're gonna go ahead and build that out right here. Might have to change. Woo, look at his knees. And that is because he is coming forward a lot, right? So let's go ahead and bring this back here like this, and then so he can. Actually, we want to go ahead and like bring him forward right here, so that he can come back like this. And then maybe he can go backwards just a little bit more. There's a lot of ways you can do a body bounce. And so, you know, like as long as the body bounces, right, you want to create a nice arc, a nice circular bounce, okay? And that's what we're doing here. He can come in and go back, or he can come in and go forward like he is, right? It doesn't really matter how we create that body bounce, okay? As long as there's a body bounce in there and it creates a nice little arc. We want to keep his head rotated down, right? Let's go ahead and go like this. Have him rotate down a little bit more like this, maybe his head too. And then everything can be a little behind. Oh, for some reason, not all of his controls got the destroy button treatment. Anyway, then he's going to come up, like this, and then go back down, right? Settle back down. We don't want his head to be flying back like that, so we can go ahead and fix that here. So looking down. And let's see, Euler filter. Okay, and I don't really know what's going on with Spidey's head here. Euler filter is not working. So I just kind of, since it's such a quick animation, I just kind of go ahead and work it out, right? Because Euler filter really isn't doing much for me. And so I just kind of go ahead and work it out myself. So right now we're in an interesting spot, okay? And I'm glad that I've kind of like done this, okay? He's obviously doing the body bounce, right? But he's kind of coming in and going, right? And so like a lot of animators will have a problem with this and kind of do this. And so really all we need to do is we just need to get more overlap happening in there, right? It's just this is happening because there's not enough overlap happening, okay? And so what we can do is we can go ahead and grab like this control, for instance. And like these two controls are doing the same thing, okay? And so let's just offset this control, okay? Just grab that one control and then offset that one. And that's really all the problem is. And we can even build out an even more like a pose right here. Okay. Again, this is a great point here to make. The shoulder, obviously, it's not looking good, okay? And the reason it's not looking good is because we need to rotate it down, right? He's grabbing the pole here, okay? I don't want to stretch it, okay? Don't stretch that. Don't make it like crazy. A lot of animators will do that. They'll like pull the shoulder down. It's like what it's not supposed to do. It's going to break the model in the back and everything. What you can do, what we need to do right now is we need to ease in to this pose here, okay? Like right here, we need to ease into that. So, like, cause it's not just gonna like grab the flagpole and stop, right? He's gonna slide down and ease into that grab. So we just like move this up like, oops, grab the foot too. He's gonna ease into that grab. So let's go ahead and press this. We like where this hand pose is, and so let's go ahead and grab that and just ease into it, pull that up. Now we're getting that bent elbow like we want without doing crazy stuff with the shoulder, okay? No translation on the shoulder, just rotation, okay? And then, boom, he eases into that. Now let's see how that feels, okay? That feels a lot better. And of course, because the shoulder, for some odd reason, our graph editor is poopy right now. There we go. Okay. Now we can see him leading into that, right? And him settling and resting into that. As I'm watching this, his like is really slow, right? He comes in, he's got a nice stretch right there, and then he like has, it's kind of awkward right here. He's slowly kind of just like going into this, right? Let's go ahead and fix that. Like comes in, we can probably get rid of this frame, number 7. Okay, we can probably get rid of that. So let's go ahead and grab everything, right? Start with the FK, grab, and then go back and grab the IK. Set a key on 6 and 8 so we don't lose our posing, okay? And then go ahead and delete 7 and then have it go like that. There we go. It probably feels a lot better now. Much better, okay? Okay, we're getting really close here, okay? We just have a few more things that we gotta sort out, okay? So, let's go in here. Let's make this just a little bit bigger. Again, shoulder rotation. Let's make sure we get that shoulder rotation in there so we can really get some nice leading action on this hand. Rotate the arm out like this. Pull this down. Whoop, not too much, because the model obviously can't handle it. Okay. Want to keep that motion in there like that. Okay. Okay, so we're going to rotate this hand in here. Make sure it's leading into that. Okay, and it feels really good. Now it pops out right here just a little too much. still, so I'm going to go ahead and go like this. Okay? And then on these frames, I'm going to pull it out to create a nicer arc. Okay? And create that overlap. Just like that. Okay? And we're getting into that cool overlapping action now of the hand sticking out. Okay? It's going to come down, and then we're going to rotate it inward, right? It's coming out. It's going to go like this, going to come back in now, like this, and then settle. Okay? Now, it's all doing the same thing at the same time, so what we want to do is go ahead and move down the line here. Let's go ahead and make sure that we have some shoulder action happening in there too. Okay, so we go like this, the shoulder's coming up, then it comes down, and go ahead and smooth that out there. Okay, now we can go ahead and add that overlap into the arm. Grab the arm, the hand, boom, boom. Okay, and then grab the hand, just the hand, add a couple more in-betweens. Okay, just like that. Okay. Then let's go ahead and grab this hand. It's not having quite enough. We can turn it like this because we want it to lead into that more still, right? Maybe we can turn this hand like this. And then it can overlap here more. It's going like this, and then it can come down. Okay, it's going to come down. Maybe we can even get rid of this so it settles more. Okay. I want it to lead into this just a little bit more, right? I want it to lead into as I'm watching it, this hand isn't quite leading enough into this like stretch out, this squash pose, or this squash thing, right? And I want it to lead just a little bit more into that. And so I'm going to go ahead and build that in here. I'm going to pull this in. Okay. Maybe pull it in here more like this. And then rotate this down, maybe inward like this on this frame. Okay, I like that. I don't like how the hand is kind of like arm and hand are kind of like quickly just rotating downward here. So I'm going to pull this over, okay, like this. Just like that. Okay. So right now I'm just like kind of feeling it out, right? And I'm kind of like looking at all the parts that I want to like make sure that I touch and I hit and everything. The head is kind of coming down and it's kind of doing this kind of thing. So I want to make sure we get a little bit more overlap in the head, like right there. Okay, so we want to bring it down, overlaps downward like this. Going to come back up and then settle. We can go ahead and add a couple frames there. For some reason, again, Spider-Man's head here. Let's see if yeah, okay. The other Euler filter wasn't going to fix it, but Smart Euler fixed it for us. a little bit, right? His head still does a little turn there. Okay, I'm noticing on the hand, as the hand is coming down, I don't like how much it's like how late it's coming, right? I don't like how late it's like overlapping, doing its overlapping action, and so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up like this so that the overlap is coming sooner. And then the arm here, it looks like the arm here is kind of doing like an extra little upward thing here that I don't want. Let's go ahead and set a key right there. And what I did is I set a key right here to lock that in, and then I deleted this so it's not doing that like pop up anymore, because I didn't like that. It's like you're doing a pop up, okay? And so I went ahead and deleted that. Okay, and then right here, I don't like that it's doing this sudden movement down. It's not overlapping enough, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that and just add a key there. Okay, I see what the problem is here with the head. It's not, there's a little hitch right here somewhere when he lands, and it's because that head is not following a nice path of action, right? It's kind of like if we track the head, it's popping forward from here to here, right? And then, so I want to get rid of that, okay? So we're going to rotate, kind of like make that so it is more in that path of action and that stretch. And then it pops over here like this. We can go ahead and get rid of that. Pull that over, pull him over like this. So that body is now in that path of action, right? It's not in the path of action right here. Now, okay, now everything is working like we want it to, okay? There we go. We fixed that little hitch. And it's because our arc and our like line of action or path of action was kind of jittery, and we wanted to get rid of that jitteriness. I think I'm going to release a part 2 video so that I can like go into like the details of like polishing, okay? And that's thinking would be really valuable, okay? Spider-Man polish, Spider-Man part 1, and then like a Spider-Man part 2, right? Polish video, right? As always, I have my Discord server. Please come leave your shots in the Discord server. I will leave you feedback, okay, when you come and post your shots, okay? It's a really fun community there. Please come stop by. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy animating.